Well, good early morning, Carly and Todd. If you're in the auto industry or planning to buy a car, you just received some good news. The Trump administration announcing tariffs in the auto industry will be delayed.
We spoke with the big three auto dealers. We are going to give a 1-month exemption on any autos coming through USMCA. Reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd, but at the request of the companies associated with USMCA, the president is giving them an exemption for 1 month so they are not at an economic disadvantage.
As you mentioned off the top, Carly, President Trump not as generous when it comes to Hamas demanding the release of the 59 remaining Israeli hostages from Gaza. Dozens are believed to be dead. Trump posting on Truth Social, release all the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Now, yesterday, Trump met with 8 hostages released from Gaza who told the president in the Oval Office they didn't think they'd be free without his return to the White House.
Were you all taken on October 6th? Yes. So this was hell, huh?
It was the worst thing that anybody can go through.
I was moved 33 times, spent time in tunnels with no air to breathe, barely food, hardly any water, and I am so grateful and thankful to be here because of President Trump.
We are here because of you.
We're alive. We're free because of you.
The Trump administration has been holding direct talks with Hamas for the first time in an attempt to free the remaining hostages.
That was a crazy 30 hours. We are back. All right. We are officially back in the studio. And Klein, we like being in the studio. I like being in the studio. We're happy to be in the studio. We're happy to be back. It's freaking crazy. Thank you for locking in with us as we did a whirlwind trip to Washington, D.C. and New York. Some of that trip was spent in a motorcade, zipping around with the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Kristi Noem. And then we had other secretaries with us, the Secretary of Agriculture, along with the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who joined our stream, along with a dozen other members of Congress. We made huge national news, and we broke streaming records. The #1 streamer for the Joint Address to Congress. Right here. Thank you. We love you. Hearts out to the chat. Hearts out to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We are building something very fun here, and we're very excited about it. But when you get an opportunity, I hate being out of the studio. I hate it when we can't do the show. I couldn't do the show yesterday. When you get an opportunity like this, like when they call you and say, like, you get an exclusive and you get to ride with the DHS secretary, you get to go to Speaker Johnson's office and do a stream, like, you got to just lock in and go. And this team is built out of pure grit and drive, determination, and a lot of news outlets say that. Oh, we'll take you there, and none of them actually do the hard work to do it, to take you there. And so we have given you a promise that this is going to be the front seat to the golden era on this channel, and we're going to deliver on that promises. We don't lie on this program. We're going to lock in, we're going to deliver. And so, yeah, that was, I don't know, Klein, was that the most productive 30 hours of our entire existence on this show? ALX and I have been working together for a decade. ALX is the most productive 30 hours in the show's history. Am I wrong? Yeah. We even got written up by the New York Post and the Daily Mail. How cool is that? Okay, all right. Anyway, woo! What a wild ride. It was fun, and we just want to say thank you. I'm done talking after this, but I just want to express, we're doing this together. We're doing this together. I'm just a dude, all right? I'm a dude. I want my wife and I to be able to do date night here and there. That's it. I have the same motivations you do. And so by you watching the program, subscribing to the channels, sharing the content, you let us take you along Like together, we can do it together. And so that is our promise to you, that our access is your access, that our questions will be your questions, and that, well, when we break national news, like asking yesterday, Kristi Noem about the assassinations, her team was like, nobody's ever asked about the Trump assassinations. Well, duh! Look at the chat right now. Look at the chat. Big love to the chat. We're working on getting the chat on screen. We're on making sure that the chat can be on screen. We're getting it. If you look at the chat, then you'll see what people think about Epstein. And you'll see what people think about Pam Bondi and about what's going on inside of the country and about the Trump assassinations. And that gives us such a great, because we watch the chat, because we live in the chat with you, that gives us the opportunity to actually know what you want. And so it's really special. We asked Kristi Noem yesterday, went really viral yesterday, asking Kristi Noem about the Trump assassination. Where the hell the Trump assassination? Why is this guy working for the Ukrainian military try and kill Trump? Like, that seems like a big story. Guy's working for the Ukraine, and then he tries to kill Trump. Maybe we should investigate that. So we were able to ask. You know, dude, Matthew Thomas Crooks is on his phone. He's on his phone. He's watching. He's talking to somebody before he shoots Trump in the head. He's talking with someone on his phone. Who was that exactly? And so because we're asking, ladies and gentlemen, and is it people just need to okay, so is a volume? Let me know, producers. Okay, all right. Okay. Sorry, yeah, I mean when we go we rebuild the studio. Always let us know. This is how we watch. This is how much we watch the chat. We're like talking about like the audio on the show. We have to rebuild the studio when we go up to Speaker Johnson's office to do the live. So we had to rebuild the studio this morning. Maybe, you know, if we get something wrong, let us know. We love that. We love you. ALX or Jerry, can you please put up a comment right now? I'm just going to show you guys. Final thing. Put up a comment. Put up a comment that we love you. Yeah, yeah. Good morning. Epstein docs were either moved or destroyed. Okay? Here we go. CD117 says, my ears. I'm sorry. I understand. My wife has to wake up to my stupid voice every morning. Oh, okay, it was hot off the top? Yeah, okay. Got it. It's the find out phase, says Roro. We're watching the chat constantly. Okay? Anyway, we love you. We're here for you. And we're just saying we read your comments, and like you all are saying it's total BS. It's total garbage that we don't know anything about the Trump assassins. And so we go to the Secretary of National. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Here we go. Yeah, we go to these secretaries, and we can ask them based on your comments. That's all. I know we got a lot of news to get to, but we're just like extremely happy. Yeah, and now people are roasting me because we're too high energy. Yeah, we're like just excited. We're excited. We were excited about what we were able to do over the last. We're excited about what we were able to do over the last 24, 30 hours. Okay, and it's all because of you, and it's because of what we're building here together. And so we're just thankful for you. We just wanted to shout that out. You'll never find a single show that is more thankful for the chat, than this program. And we take your comments and we bring them to the halls of power and we ask them. And we'll play you the clip. Their staff was shocked. Kristi Noem's staff was shocked. They're like, nobody's asked about the assassinations. What's wrong with you? Of course, that's all we want to know. We want to know about these assassins. Were they working for Ukraine? Were they working with the Department of Homeland Security? You're actually literally in charge of the Department of Homeland Security, and this guy was training at a gun range where Department of Homeland Security agents were. DHS, the special DHS police were the ones running that operation in Butler, not the Secret Service. Like, that seems like huge questions. Kristi Noem says she's not sure there was that he was acting alone. That's huge national news. So the DHS secretary says she's not sure that he was acting alone? It's crazy. Anyway, we just want to say, we love you. And one more, Boyd Paulson from Nebraska. We're just going to say, what's up, Boyd Paulson from Nebraska, and Mark Yost. The weather's excellent in Tampa. Enjoy. Yeah, that's right. We are so back. Hey, 5T3. That's not true. Hey, 5T3. 5T3. That's not true. That's not true. Fake news. We call them out. We call it fake news when we see it. We call it out. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. The end. I do not. Fake news. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right. We are rocking this morning today, March 6th, 2025. Do we really just do 15 minutes of reading chats? We should do this every single show, actually. All right. CIA begins Doge-inspired purge of employees. That's the deepest of the deep state. They get summoned to an off-site location to surrender their badges. Trump prepares to dissolve the Department of Education. Oh, yeah, baby. Might be happening today, Junior. DHS Secretary took us behind the scenes yesterday. We'll bring you the exclusive interviews. And Trump, comedian, who has gone viral by having his life threatened by Alec Baldwin on camera and Robert De Niro on camera as he trolls them doing his Trump impersonation, will be live on the program. We're very excited about this guest. We've had a lot of very serious guests on the show. The most serious guest you can possibly have, so it'll be nice to have a little levity today. His name's Jason Scoop, and I would argue he probably does the best Trump impersonation on the internet. And this guy's going thermonuclear viral by going up to Hollywood celebrities that hate Trump and doing his Trump impersonation to their face. Alec Baldwin told him he's going to snap his neck. It's so awesome. So Jason will be on the program. It's going to be great. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Tough years. Obviously, there's so much chaos, and there's been so many bad things happening in the economy. The ups and downs, you can still see the economy's working out, just the nightmare of the Biden years. Make sure that you're not one of those people that are totally undone by the ghost of Joe Biden. Get out of debt today, the average person. Feeling financial strain more than ever. Expenses are up. Wages can't keep the pace. People are finding out it's nearly impossible to make ends meet. Make sure that you're not depending on credit card debt with rates in the 20s or 30s. American Financing, ladies and gentlemen, can help you get out of a cycle of mounting debt. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving homeowners an average of $800 a month, helping you put your hard-earned cash back where it belongs in your pocketbook. Call American Financing today and take control of your financial future. 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219, AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. All right, let's freaking go here. Okay, so okay, so we have the whole. All right, so let's do it. We do it off the top, but let's freaking go. I mean, here we go. We'll blast through this quickly, and then I want to jump over to Chrissy Nome and then all of our breaking news. We were live inside of the U.S. Capitol. This was like a fun little office that we had in Speaker. These offices are teeny, right? They're crunched, like they're really small. So like we were doing our best to like look at these homies that we had on. We had Tulsi Gabbard. Look at her laughing. And then we have Mike Lee and Mark Wayne Mullen. More to come from that. And we were like cramped, it's like teeny little, they were like built in these are like offices that are built. These offices are built in the 1700s, like early 1800s. So it's like just tight, right? This chandelier. Yeah, it was like cool. It was White House architecture. So Lauren Boebert was on the show. It's like we had a half dozen senators, half dozen members of Congress, 2 directors in the administration, 2 administration members. Freaking great. This was the setup that we had. I thought this was particularly neat. Sort of show you where we were at. Oh, yep. And these are like some of the breaking news that we broke over the last couple of days. Tulsi Gabbard talking about the JFK files. We have big updates on that. Apparently, there's now a landing page with the JFK files where they will be released. Here's Tulsi saying, "Get ready. It's about to happen." But you gotta let me know these JFK files, the RFK files, the MLK files that President Trump ordered declassified. We gonna see that? Obviously, there's a little kerfuffle with the Epstein documents right now. Like it seems to be like there is a fortified wall that President Trump and the administration is breaking against, and who's gonna win that battle?
Yeah. Well, the president will get what he promised the American people. We literally just had another meeting on the JFK declassifications today. I don't want to get ahead of an announcement that comes out of the White House. There is still some work to be done, but I expect an announcement to come very soon.
Well, guess who was on the cutting edge of breaking news? Breaking as of last night, Anna Paulina Luna putting up the link to the soon-to-be-released JFK files. Here we go. All declassified JFK documents will be housed in the link below. As soon as the declassifications begin, you'll be able to access them on this website. APO was telling us this on the program. She says radical transparency is the American people is mandated, and they will get, and that is what they will get. Read the press release below, and then you can see sort of the archive here. President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, we've been ragingly disappointed with you with the release of the non-release, actually, of Epstein documents. So we share in your disappointment. We also share in the facilitation of the release, since we were the first people to ask Pam Bondi about it. We notice a trend here. We're really happy to be like the drivers of these trends. So anyway, this happens by being in a setup like this. Okay, so here, so this kind of this will kind of show you like where we were in the building as we're walking through the building. And oh, by the way, this is here we go. So this is the setup walking through the building at the Capitol, or where we were. We were this is Statuary Hall. This is right next to the House chamber. And then we let's speed ramp a little bit and play this out. Thank you. Yeah, we can do the audio. We're getting a special delivery. And I told you actually. Hold on. We told you that we told you that we have to rebuild the studio. I actually left my earpiece at home, so I got my special delivery earpiece here in my backpack. So that's what we got. And then my wife, Nurse Kate, brought it to me. Come on, say hi. Nurse Kate in the studio. Say what's up.
Hi.
And she brought her never been on the stream before, but why not? This is our baby Whitaker. This is new baby. This is new happy baby Johnson.
He's sleepy.
Yes.
He's a sleepy boy.
Baby Whit. So first time on the stream, baby Whit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a family show. We say it's a family show all the time. I love you. We say it's a family show all the time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hard to do an interview without the right earpiece.
Bye, guys.
So it's nice to prove, we'd like to prove to you that this is actually a family show. So it is actually a family show, and I don't know. We started off with our monologue saying I'm just like a dude who lives like you, and this is what makes the show so fun, right? This is how we roll. Thank you. All right, here we go. This was the setup inside of the Capitol. Let's rock and roll. It's freaking great to be broadcasting. I see this room, and I just wish I had a lectern to grab to. I just feel like you gotta do the meme, right? Saloon doors. Here we go. Get ready. He's gonna kick some ass. We're very excited about it. Thank you, Speaker Johnson, for giving us this gorgeous office. Never had a studio with chandeliers before. Look at that. That chandelier came from the White House. It was like a present for someone's wedding. Something like that? I don't know. Who knows? Really beautiful. One other thing. Check this out. Got the right straight down the National Mall. So Donald Trump will be, they've already closed the streets down. Donald Trump will be rolling from the White House straight down Pennsylvania Avenue, right there. And of course, maybe you can see the Washington Monument, but DC smog, I'm not sure about the windows, but it's a gorgeous view straight down the mall. Spectacular. Okay, join us soon. It's going to be rowdy. We'll be live here inside the Capitol. What a fun show, ladies and gentlemen. What an exciting show. This is a piece of breaking news that we were able to establish from Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett says, listen, I don't think the Epstein docs are real. I don't think that we're ever going to see them. And this went ballistic over the last 2 days because we're like the only show that ever asks. So here we go. What the hell's going on with this list, man? Like,
Epstein.
Like what's going? You know, I had. You know,
yeah,
I had.
I'm glad you did.
Probably the only guy I'm going to ask because I love you.
Well, because, and I think.
But like, what's going on there?
I was on with Geraldo last night, and he says he doesn't think it exists. I don't think it exists anymore. I think they've doctored it, and I don't think we shouldn't trust what comes out. I just think it's they've delayed it, and there was no. And she was way over her skis when she said that it's sitting on my desk. Now, why the heck would she say that? Why would she say that? I mean, she's big dogging it, and it blew up in her face. That was a stupid move.
So apparently a big dump truck full of evidence came into the DOJ after some key firings in the FBI. Do you believe that?
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
It's just like the Kennedy files and the UFO files and RFK and JFK. It's been too long, and all of a sudden, we're going to look at President Trump starts raising Cain about John F. Kennedy, and all of a sudden they find 14,000 new files just out of the blue. I mean, it's like, what is this? Raiders of the Lost Ark, warehouse that they got this stuff in. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's a cover up. The sewer is groaning right now because of Donald J. Trump. I just pray he stays healthy.
You know what? Don't be mad. Don't hate the player, hate the game, right? Don't be mad at Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett is just speaking the truth. Will we ever see the Epstein files? Do they even exist? Are they even real? And we've been blackpilled a little bit over this process, obviously. And, the best that we can possibly do on this program is continue to ask. To not be duped or suckered now you have to show us. You had my faith at the beginning of all of this. Again, we've made it very public. We know Pam Bondi. We know Kash Patel. We know Todd Blanche, who just was sworn in as Deputy Attorney General. We know the entire team. We know they're not liars, but we also know that they're hammering up against like the harshest possible wall that you can get inside of this superstructure that has had these documents and could destroy them with impunity over the last 30 years. So who's to say they're not just gone, right? Lost to time, okay? Lost to like the grinding pain and excruciating destruction capacity of the superstate that will never want you to have the contingency of seeing these files. It sucks. I don't like that. I don't want that to be the case. There are things that are more fresh. As Burchett says, dude, this is stuff that happened 60 years ago with JFK, with RFK. Why would they ever keep this stuff? They're going to just destroy it all. The Epstein stuff, Epstein was an operative for CIA, Mossad, for big intel operations. Like, he was clearly a foreign intel op with major deep connections to Mossad and major deep connections to the nation of Israel. Like he was running in a foreign intel op. Obviously, this is obvious. It's like the documents are all there. The FBI claimed him. Our FBI says, whoa, he's cooperating, let him free. So we've known about Epstein for like 20 years, 30 years. The guy funded the refurbishment of Bill Clinton's White House. Okay, hold on. Do you understand like that Jeffrey Epstein was personally donating for the refurbishment of the West Wing? What was he doing exactly? The guy was plucked out of total obscurity by Bill Barr's dad, who was one of the founding members of the CIA, when he didn't even have like a college degree. No, man. Epstein was like totally groomed by the super state, by the permanent state, by the theory of continuous leadership, a total system that is outside of the realm of a constitutional republic or a democracy. The continuous leaders of government theory, the continuation of power, that is the deep state. It was thought of by Bill Barr's dad. He was one of the founding idea vectors for that, and he created Epstein in order to facilitate that. And who facilitated the end of Epstein? Bill Barr. Who was overseeing all this? Bill Barr. Even though it was conflicted out from inside of the Trump administration. So Trump's not making these mistakes again. That stuff's old. I'm only saying that to say it's been around for so long that maybe I have to take the black pill on this one. Maybe we're not going to ever get anything on this. I don't know. You know, I'm not here to like clickbait or like hype train something. At this point, because we've been so disappointed, like you're physically going to have to like show me the new documents. You're going to physically, we will have to physically hold new documents, and when we can do that, we'll report back on it. Now, there are some things that are brand new, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we discovered yesterday with Kristi Noem. Here's a little New York Post article on it. You can see our team traveling here. There's Klein. Look at that. There's Klein getting the shot, baby. Klein rolling with Kristi Noem. And we went to the subway station where the criminal alien lit an American citizen on fire. You know, we walked through that subway station, but we were also on a Coast Guard cutter. Here's a photo of the whole team. Look at this. You can see ALX in here. Look at ALX peeping. Look at that. There he is. Rolling. And there's Killer Klein. That's what 1 hour of sleep, baby. That's 1 hour of sleep for all of us. All right. We asked Kristi Noem about the major scandals that she's currently able to oversee the investigations of. Like Ryan Ralph. Ryan Ralph was clearly a Ukrainian military asset. Clearly. He was probably being funded by our own tax dollars. And he tried to kill Trump. Like, let's get some answers there. We're the first people to ever ask. Here's how it went.
Ryan Ralph with the other assassin in Florida. Still, not a lot of information on this guy.
Nope.
Apparently, he was recruiting for the Ukrainian military. He was flying all over the world. He was on the FBI's wanted list. He shouldn't have been able to even own a firearm. DHS apparently didn't investigate him when he came back into the country from Ukraine.
Right.
Any Ukrainian connection there? Any further information on Ryan Ralph?
There's still intelligence agencies here that are still doing investigations here. So my ability to speak to that right now today is not something that I can give you a lot of details on. But I will tell you that there are investigations ongoing, and knowing those ties are critically important. So how people come into this country, when they come on our radar, and what their nefarious activities were when they were back home is very important to predicting what they will do once they get here, and what they will do, and if they have real threats, not just against the president, but threats to people who live here too. So these individuals that come in, we need to know their ties and why they're here, and if they really do love America, and if they are a threat to our leader.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a major investigation that is going on right now into the Trump assassinations. Kristi Noem confirmed this, and then says that Ryan Ralph, who has foreign ties to Ukraine's military, is being fully investigated for those ties. Also, that Matthew Thomas Crooks was able to get a successful headshot on Donald Trump. Thank God, by the literal hand of God, President Trump was spared. But that Matthew Thomas Crooks may not have been acting alone. She said, I can't confirm to you right now because these are operational intel investigations that he was acting alone. He was on the phone with someone. The only way we're going to get the truth is to continue asking. The only way we're going to like get them, pressure them into releasing this information, which all of this happened less than 6 months ago. That's what's different. They haven't had these documents next to the shredder or next to the burn barrel. This is all this is happening in real time. So these are conspiracy. These are theories that you could actually get answers to. And so you could destroy. You could presumably actually get truth here. Will we get any truth about JFK or RFK? Has that stuff been destroyed beyond, or will it be redacted beyond all comprehension? Ladies and gentlemen, Kristi Noem confirming that these massive investigations are ongoing into the Trump assassinations, and also that Ryan Ralph may have been a foreign agent paid to assassinate Trump, and that Matthew Thomas Crooks may not have been acting alone. This is huge news. This is massive news. She's also talked about the 13-year-old who's made an honorary Secret Service agent. This happened during Trump's joint address to Congress. President Trump did this in what was, without question, the most heartwarming moment of the address. We have a short clip of it. Here we go.
Service last night, pretty amazing moment.
Yeah.
That's like the most heartwarming moment. I don't know if you knew that was going to go down.
I knew it was going to go down, but I
Sean Curran just did it.
teared up when that little guy threw himself into Sean's arms. I thought that's the recruitment video that the Secret Service needs. I mean, that is the heroes that they are. And when they were up there hugging and his little dreams came true, that was fantastic.
You got emotional?
I did. I don't cry very often, but I did then, because I just thought, here this little guy maybe wasn't even still going to be around.
That's right.
And then he had this law enforcement officer who's the most powerful one in the country because he gets to protect the president of the United States, that made him his colleague, made him just like he is. He wants to grow up and be like Sean, and Sean made it happen.
Yeah, a little DJ. He survived cancer. He only had 5 months left. Now he's 5 years in. He's a total hero. Yet, no Democrats stood up and clapped.
I was disgusted by the Democrats last night. I was ashamed of them. I served in Congress when President Obama was the president, and President Obama was doing horrible things to our country and lying to us, but we stood up and we gave him the respect of an applause when he walked into the room, and we listened, and we maybe disagreed and chose not to stand at certain parts, but we all would have stood for a little boy with brain cancer. We all would have stood for the humanity of families who lost their children in a tragic situation. So the fact that the Democrats acted the way that they did last night, I think was really shameful. We wouldn't raise our children to act that way, and here these are elected leaders that, I've never seen anything like it before. It is the House of Representatives doesn't deserve people to serve there that act like that.
They wouldn't clap for the kid with cancer. They wouldn't even show like dignity or respect to the kid with cancer, little boy. It was terminal cancer. It's like ongoing, right? So this is what Democrats refused to clap for. This is the short recap here of what President Trump did. And we have updates, ladies and gentlemen, to all of this. But since we didn't have time to do the show yesterday, and since this is something that infuriated me when I saw it, and something we were asking about, I want to show you the moment and then the reaction. Here we go.
The biggest honor of them all, I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
How do you stand against? How do you cheer against that? You just must hate America. I don't know what kind of like blackness darkness you must have in your heart. You like clearly have some type of major spiritual, mental, emotional problem to not cheer for that. But it's even worse if you are then attacking the small boy with cancer. It's clearly it's clear that Trump knew what he was doing here. Obviously, you bring in somebody like this, one, because it changed the boy's life forever, but two, because it will expose exactly who these people are. And it did expose who they were. Here's Rachel Maddow calling this disgusting. Go.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric cancer.
She has thus far survived. How macabre. How grotesque these people. They're such goblins, but it's nothing worse. Nothing's worse than Nicole Wallace saying, well, she hopes that little boy doesn't commit suicide now. This made my blood boil. Go.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against.
Oh, okay. I hope that little boy with cancer doesn't commit suicide. You're a demon, lady. Like, there's no other way to say it. You're just a demon. Because we feel the chat, because we love you, and because we understand, that this was something that made you angry, we asked Chrissy Noem about it, and Chrissy Noem says that Nicole Wallace needs to be fired. Let's go.
Service. Not a lot of that was going on MSNBC. Rachel Maddow called it disgusting. And Nicole Wallace on MSNBC said that DJ should consider potentially killing himself. Those are her words, not mine. That's what she said. She said that she made it in light of a joke about trying to make a joke about January 6th or something. It's repulsive. It's the most viral clip on the internet right now.
But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
Do you think that she should lose her job for statements like this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a standard for those who report our news and who cover what happens in this country. And yes, those who employ her and pay her her paycheck should evaluate if they want that to be the face of their operation.
Perfect. Good. This is how we make news cycles around here. So we were thrilled to be spending the day with Chrissy Noem. It was awesome. We were jetting around New York City in a freaking motorcade. There's a lot of really cool. We were on a Coast Guard cutter ship there. The Coast Guard brought us through the ship, and then we went to quite a important location, a place that we actually can't show you the video of right now because the stream will get taken down. It's the train station, a subway station in New York, in Coney Island, where a criminal alien set a woman on fire, an American citizen on fire, then just sat there and watched her burn. Talk about demonic. Chrissy Noem had the guts to go there, and again, it was written up. This was Chrissy Noem explaining that she can't deport this criminal alien who sets American citizens on fire because the city of New York is protecting that alien. Let's go.
We are here at the Coney Island subway station where a criminal alien killed an American citizen by lighting them on fire.
Yep. Right here, and then this is the bench that he came to and sat on and watched her burn. And listen, this individual had come into the country illegally in 2018, had left and had come back and re-entered. They think that was living here in New York City for over a year because he got free food and shelter, and this city facilitated illegal immigration. And that poor woman burned to death here because of the actions of the mayor and the governor not taking care of their citizens in this city.
Doing some research on this, Trump deported this individual in term 1.
Yep, and he came back. And he came back again and was living here, and he specifically came to this city because they were taking better care of illegal criminals than they were their own citizens.
So this is horrifying. Of course, nobody wants more Laken Rileys. Nobody wants more dead Americans at the hands of criminal aliens. How are you going to stop it? Because it does seem like the states of New York are refusing to bend the knee.
I'm going to call out the governor, and I'm going to call out this mayor for what they're doing. The governor could do an executive order today and rescind all of these sanctuary city policies. So this poor woman burned to death, and a man sat here and watched it that shouldn't have ever been in this country, and the governor can fix this today. Also, this mayor can step up in city council and make decisions that protect their citizens, take better care of people instead of these criminals. Listen, ICE lodged a detainer for this individual that burned this woman alive, and the Department of Corrections in this city won't turn him over. So that's how bad these leaders are and how much they're protecting criminals to the detriment of their own citizens.
At what point do you think that there's legal culpability for the cities and the jurisdictions that do this to Americans? I mean, because they're wantonly passing and enforcing policies that murder Americans.
That's exactly right. President Trump is suing. The Department of Justice is suing the city and the state of New York City. But listen, we've got to educate the public. They got to stand up for themselves and get rid of these leaders and put people in place that really want to protect them and make it safer.
Democrats are protecting a criminal alien. Democrats released Laken Riley's murderer 7 times to go murder again. This guy was committing crimes all over New York. They kept releasing him. At what point does Laken Riley's family have a class action lawsuit against the state of New York for trillions of dollars? Like, they're engaging in policies that are murdering Americans. We live in a society here. You should be able to, people sue for all types of bullshit, honestly, like day and night for nothing. You should be able to sue for this. You should be able to sue the people that are directly responsible for releasing your child's murderer again and again and again and again. Or setting a person on fire. But the feds can't get at this criminal alien because they're being protected, funded, and coddled by the state of New York. Evil, man. Totally and completely evil. Our enemies are idiots, and they are stupid, and they are, thankfully, easy to defeat. And I think you're going to see more defeats for the left. There's going to be a massive, massive purge across government agencies. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to bring you just the thing that enlightened and inspired and uplifted us this morning, the difference between the two parties. Over the last 24 hours has been revealed in 2 short-form video clips. And I want to play these 2 for you because I think this really gets at the very heart of the issue and sent me into work with a little extra pep in my step today. One is a video that was produced by Democrat members of Congress in response to Donald Trump's State of the Union. This is what Democrats put out for their vision and retort to Donald Trump. This is your cringe alert, ladies and gentlemen. I think we should play our cringe. Let's do our cringe alert. We haven't done one of these in a long time. This is your nuclear cringe. Man, you're gonna hate this. Here we go. We've been warning for years that the theater kids have completely taken over the Democrat Party. The creepy little goth, super effeminate, overly emotional, nonsensical theater kids have totally and utterly done a violent, bloodless coup of what was once a semi-serious party that would feel like serious presidential candidates. I mean, there are plenty of people around that still voted for JFK, right? Like actual serious people. Have they had a serious candidate since JFK? I'm not exactly sure. But the Democrat Party, starting with the 60s, which is when Rosa DeLauro actually got into Congress. This is one of my favorite. Speaking of aging theater kids, here's 80-year-old Rosa DeLauro doing a I don't really know what to call this, but this is our competition. This is not AI. This is not an NPC character. This is a real member of Congress doing a response to Donald Trump. This is what we're fighting. I'm not sure what we did to deserve these kind of enemies in the cultural war, but this is what we got, ladies and gentlemen. It's a blessing. Here we go.
Yo, this is the Ranking Rizzler on Appropriations, serving Connecticut's 3rd District. It's time to enter your dark academia Congress era. All right, besties. House Appropriation is the money moves in Congress. We are not chasing the bag. We are the bag. Democrats are making life smoother through government funding. It's giving, it's giving. So Sigma, main character energy. But Republicans' Project 2025 is mad sus. Eliminating the Department of Education? Negative aura points. Basically, the biggest phantom tax on the environment, on your education, and your rights. Big L posting it online, buddy. Democrats understood the assignment.
What did we do to get enemies like this? Why have we been so blessed to get enemies like this? Lucky us. I'm so encouraged for my children's future. Yeah, and I love that the last line that she said is Big L posting this online. Yeah, Big L. Thank you. The greatest part about dealing with the modern day lib is their sense of self-awareness is zero sense of self-awareness. One of our producers, young Jack, says that he needs to shut off the stream because he can't take it anymore. Okay, here's your palate cleanser, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Democrats are posting in their response to the State of the Union. Trump's joining a address to Congress. And here is what Trump is posting in response. Trump brought DJ to the White House. Let's go.
What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. That was a big evening last night, right?
Yes, it was.
That was a big evening.
Have you spotted the difference in the reactions? This versus this. Have you noticed what it's like to have the jocks and the chads and the cheerleaders in charge versus the creepy goth theater kids? Yeah. Shoved in a locker one too many times. So embarrassing. It really is. Okay. All right, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the creepiest little theater kids. If we don't have it, please get me that CIA librarian video. I'm not sure if that's in the script here. But the CIA has begun Doge-styled purge of employees as they get summoned to off-site location to surrender their badges. Oh yeah, baby. Let's freaking read. Oh, and did Al Green get censured? We have that. I mean, let's not move off without noting this. Okay, Al Green got censured. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we can't move off the Trump State of the Union joint address without noting that Al Green, who was the jackass who kept standing up and yelling at Donald Trump the entire speech, he just kept yelling and yelling and yelling. He got kicked out of Congress. He got forcibly dragged out of Congress. They called the sergeant at arms, right, which is the police officers in charge of the on the floor of the House. They dragged Al Green out. Al Green's an octogenarian, dirtbag. Looks very much like the Geico caveman. Yeah, okay. Here's the moment. You remember this? This is Al Green getting censured by Congress today could result in fines, could result in a lack of stripping him of his committees, could result in him not being able to speak on the floor. Congress just voted to censure Al Green for not shutting up during Trump's joint address to Congress. Here we go.
Is that he will call Congressman Green to the well. Oh, there we go. Let's listen in.
To answering present. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. Shh. Will Representative Green present himself to the well? By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House will come to order. The House will come to order.
They're all standing on the. They're all standing. Saying, I'm telling you, it's us versus the theater kids.
You want to let him keep doing this, or tell me fair?
The House will come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
This is not a. These aren't serious people. This is brain damage. They're all like singing. These are not serious representatives. Chrissy Noem tells us.
Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Chrissy Noem tells us that you can't run a government with these people. They're going to lose 100 seats, aren't they? This is so clownish and embarrassing. You're not going to be able to like. Would you trust these people to babysit for you? Would you ever trust them to like walk your dog? They're so emotionally unstable. These are your representatives. This is your government in charge of the biggest economy in world history, largest military in world history, all the nuclear arsenal. These are the people in charge. These are the people who gave you Kamala Harris as a candidate and Joe Biden as your resident of the White House. Yeah. Yep. They're not serious people.
To engage in willful
and
concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order.
This is what daddy home energy looks like. This is stepdad energy, okay? This is daddy's home energy, all right? This is your creepy uncle watching you, and this is daddy's home energy. Al Green getting dragged out. Still yapping. Still yapping. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. The adults are back in charge. Let's freaking go. Okay. They just sang on the floor. The theater kids, the creepy ass theater kids. Okay. So, a direct through line to the CIA. Here we go. I have more creepy theater kids to show you. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The librarian, the CIA literally made this video. They could have just let this employee go on existing, I guess, without ever having to highlight the existence of this nose-ringed alphabet employee, activist, goth Satanist that the CIA has hired. I guess that's very on brand based on what we know about the CIA. But this is the CIA's librarian. They produced a PR video for him. Doubt that would be the preferred pronouns, but whatever. For him. And here's how it went, just letting you know, because we're going to talk about mass firings of the CIA here in just a second. So these were the employees at the CIA.
As an agency librarian, I work to ensure that our collection and services are matched up with what CIA needs. Not only am I involved in the acquisitions of journals, books, and countless electronic resources, I'm also encouraged to curate special collections that challenge expectation. Recently, I brought in our intelligence gaming collection to give officers unique opportunities to practice skills they need in their various roles. Instead of sitting for hours in front of a computer-based training, they can play a carefully selected game to train a specific set of skills while simultaneously building on the myriad soft skills essential to intelligence work. My favorite thing about CIA is that they encourage the out-of-the-box ideas that drive real progress. Growing up gay in a small southern town, I was lucky to have a wonderful and accepting family. I always struggled with the idea that I might not be able to discuss my personal life at work. Imagine my surprise when I was taking my oath at CIA and I noticed a rainbow on then-Director Brennan's lanyard, which I later learned was designed by Angle, one of the many employee resource groups here at the agency. I remember being stunned. Since then, however, I've learned that far beyond the resource groups, inclusion is a core value here. Officers from the top down work hard to ensure that every single person, whatever their gender, gender identity, race, disability, or sexual orientation, can bring their entire self to work every day.
CIA. The CIA. You have to say it with a lisp. The CIA. You're not allowed to use that. You're not allowed to use that voice anymore, by the way. It's Project 2025 is implemented. You can't use that voice anymore. Everyone has to talk normal. Okay? You're not allowed to lisp anymore. That voice is illegal. Straight to Gitmo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Gitmo, arguably real CIA work being done down there, depending on who you talk to. The CIA director has announced that there will be massive firings, hopefully, of employees like that. Why are employees like that particularly corrosive to the culture of a federal agency? Because they put activism for radical, extremist political activism ahead of the actual job. The actual job is not about what your identity is or how you grew up in a small town. That's not what the job is. The job is, shockingly, the job was to play board games. Is this what the CIA was doing? Do you know, like, the CIA, you have come to imagine the CIA is like, I don't know, secret agents maybe because of Hollywood and because you actually, that's what we pay them to do, right? To do clandestine work and espionage and save Americans and like keep us all safe, right? We've all seen the movies. And then you take the CIA out of the movies and you realize it's just a bunch of like goth, dork, alphabet nerds like that playing board games all day. And we're paying them like six-figure salaries to do that. It's not a real place. And you wonder why there's like aspiring or some type of Chinese secret police operation. Every 10 days they crack down on something like that happening inside of our borders. Because that's who America's spies are at the CIA. Yeah, okay. Time for real, actual CIA skullcrackers to get back in control. Apparently, that's what's happening. The latest newly hired probationary federal workers hit with a wave of layoffs in the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA officers, hired within the last 2 years, are being summoned to off-site locations, fired, and forced to surrender their badges. Security personnel, 3 people at the briefing told the New York Times. President Donald Trump said that the agencies would begin initiating their own cuts and firings inspired by Doge. CIA Director John Ratcliffe wasted no time in getting to trimming down the workforce under Trump's orders. It's not clear how many officers were let go. Probably all the officers that engaged in the board game. Fun. With Mr. Man. People who are familiar with the effort, however, insist that the recent hires and probationary employees will be dismissed. The reduction of CIA workforce comes as a judge cleared the way for Ratcliffe to fire employees at will. Well, they got plenty of employees. Look at the size of that parking lot. The CIA headquarters there. Tennis court? Is it a tennis court? They got their own tennis court? Okay, cool. They got their own library and an ally. They got Angle, an employee resource group. Wow, I wonder what the chats look like inside of Angle. I wonder what kind of chat room activity happens in Angle. Anyway, Judge Anthony J. Trenga of the Eastern District of Virginia ruled that a lawsuit brought by CIA officers who were assigned to the diversity and recruiting efforts under the previous administration. They were removed under Trump's order to get rid of DEI, and Judge Trenga's ruling was sweeping and gave Director Ratcliffe the power to remove any CIA officer for any reason without giving them a right of appeal. Good. That's the way it works in the real world. rejected defendants' arguments that the workers were being denied their 14th Amendment right to due process, as well as violations of free speech. CIA General Counsel approved Ratcliffe's effort to shrink the agency after reviewing the ruling. Here's what John Ratcliffe said in his confirmation hearing about restoring the CIA's ability to, actually go do spy work. Let's go.
Confirm my leadership at CIA will focus on setting and communicating priorities and demanding relentless execution. Above all, will be a strict adherence to the CIA's mission. We will collect intelligence, especially human intelligence, in every corner of the globe, no matter how dark or difficult. We will produce insightful, objective, all-source analysis, never allowing political or personal biases to cloud our judgment or infect our products. We will conduct covert action at the direction of the president, going places no one else can go and doing things no one else can do. To the brave CIA officers listening around the world, if all of this sounds like what you signed up for, then buckle up and get ready to make a difference. If it doesn't, then it's time to find a new line of work. We must be the ultimate meritocracy. I will unapologetically empower the most talented, hardest working, and most courageous risk takers and innovators to protect the American people and advance America's interests. And I will not tolerate anything or anyone that distracts from our mission. It would be inappropriate.
Would distracting from your mission be the creepy gothic activist librarian who wants to play board games all day and thinks that's spy work? It's amazing. You live in DC long enough, and you pull the curtain back on anything. You pull the curtain back on Hollywood. You pull the curtain back on, Jason Scoop's going to be on the program in just a second. This guy's great. He's been pulling the curtain back on Alec Baldwin, Robert De Niro, and some of these actors, how they actually act, who they really are. You do that for any industry, professional athletes, restaurants. Yeah. You want to actually see the function of a restaurant. Go back into the kitchen, right? Go check out, how clean is the kitchen, in fact. How clean is Washington, D.C.? You pull the curtain back on Washington, D.C., you realize it's just people like that running everything. It's really scary. It's terrifying. You look at Congress. It's such a clown show. It's hard to even do proper memes or impressions, comedy, or parody these days because they've already parodied themselves. They're dancing, doing a little video. They're doing a little video game dance in response to Trump. They're not serious people. But the weird thing is that when you control the world's largest economy and military, nuclear supply, you kind of want serious people in charge of that, in fact. And that's what people are. People are calling out and screaming out for competence. That's what this election was all about, in fact. And if there's ever an agency that represents incompetence, it's the Department of Education. The Department of Education, of course, has, with record amounts of funding, they have had the fire hydrants of funding gushed into their coffers. Dollar bills and gold coins flowing into the Department of Education in its grotesque 50-year history, has delivered the lowest standardized testing scores for any developed nation across the world. They've delivered, of course, no product to be proud of. If this were run like a company, like a startup, it would have been killed in the cradle. Nobody would have ever invested, would have never gotten off the ground. Department of Education, for every new dollar spent for the Department of Education, we receive lower test scores and a lower product for our students. Maybe it's time to rethink the whole thing. That's what President Trump is doing. President Trump is set to sign an executive order to effectively dissolve the Department of Education, and he's going to do it today. Today. Maybe. We'll see. The White House on Thursday pulled the expected signing of an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. Multiple sources tell ABC News. Okay, so it's still getting worked on. A draft of the executive order called for Education Secretary Linda McMahon to facilitate the department's closure by taking all necessary steps permitted by law. The White House Secretary Caroline Leavitt quoted the news report saying it's fake news that Trump was expected to sign the order on Thursday. She said he's not signing it yet. Behind the scenes, there's concern among the administration officials that the blowback and the order would receive lack of messaging placed ahead of the rollout. You do have to message these things correctly, obviously, and get the right structures set up. Specifically, how the administration would answer questions about how the executive order would impact school lunch programs, along with other programs that could no longer exist. In order to dismantle the Department of Education would require congressional approval. Any proposed legislation would likely fail without 60 Senate votes. McMahon had previously acknowledged that she would need Congress to carry out the presidential vision to close the Department of Education. We'd like to do this right, she said. It certainly does require congressional action. Ladies and gentlemen, Department of Education news and Donald Trump making good on one of his campaign promises. Here we go.
President Trump is reportedly set to issue an executive order aimed at eliminating the education department as soon as today. The Wall Street Journal reporting Trump will task newly sworn-in Education Secretary Linda McMahon to, quote, take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the education department based on the maximum extent appropriate and permitted by law.
Come on. Into my veins, ladies and gentlemen, into my veins. So, again, why should these things that would never, ever have the capacity or right to exist in the private sector exist in the public sector? When you are a zero value or negative value, so now you're talking negative value. The Department of Education is a negative value on the country and our kids. When you're a negative value organization, you get cut. You get deleted. You should take you must take a private sector approach to the public sector. Country's gone wildly out of control. Okay. Wildly out of control, of course, is what corporate America did by going insanely woke. Some of the first companies to do that were tech companies, big communications platforms, cell phone companies. Ladies and gentlemen, don't give your dollars to them, to the people who hate you. Give your money instead to the hardworking people at Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only conservative Christian wireless provider in the country. Their outstanding cell phone service supports the rights of free speech. That's actually quite important, ladies and gentlemen. They support the rights of the Second Amendment, first responders, our men and women in the military. They're a patriotic company. I know these guys personally. They're awesome. They support our program when we are on the road, obviously, and make sure that we stay connected so that we can bring you all of the news. Right now, go to patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with the promo code Benny. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every single call or text that you make. patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. All right. Somebody who is, I would certainly say, a patriot. I've actually never met Jason Scoop, but he seems like a totally awesome dude. We love his content. He's at the... Okay. He's the bravest content creator I've ever met this side of James O'Keefe, just by observing his work. This guy goes up to some of the biggest names in the media and Hollywood industry and trolls them to their face using a Donald Trump impression. And his Donald Trump impression is excellent. I'll give you an example of his work here. Here's Jason Scoop with Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin saying he's going to snap Jason Scoop's neck and kill him, which I guess, I'm not sure if there's any type of legal recourse here. But here we go. Trolling Alec Baldwin. This is Jason. And I want to just, play it a little bit.
Alec, it's your favorite president. Look, Alec, I will offer you a total pardon, because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman if you kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood, you can call it first degree, you can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me, and that's okay.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You realize, by
Whoa.
the way, no, look at me. I want you to look at me.
Sure.
You got a camera on me here?
The ring? No, it's the ring.
But you realize My kids live in this building, right? But I want you to know something.
We love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
Be real careful.
Okay.
If this camera was here, I'd snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right out. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, class act. Believe me.
Okay.
Believe me.
Joining the show right now is the great Jason Scoop. Here we go. The balls on you, man. I mean, Elon has big balls working at Doge, but bro, this work, the videos that you make are unbelievable. That is particularly special, that clip. And it's my favorite clip that you've ever done, although we have a ton of your other work lined up here. Maybe we'll play some of it, but that's my favorite clip you've ever done because you're trolling Alec Baldwin for shooting and killing that lady on the movie set. And then he says he's going to kill you in response. So very successful troll there, Jason.
Thank you. And, you know, you called me brave, but it's sort of like once the train takes off, you know, you're going 150 miles an hour. I didn't anticipate him threatening to kill me. And when he did, I was just trying my best to stay in character, you know, keep that face and the posture going. But at the same time, in my mind, I mean, he was really getting in my face, snapping at me. I didn't know what was going to happen, but obviously, we got gold. We hit that liquid gold with that video.
You have our entire studio cracking up already. Okay, so and we cover a lot of Trump. So we've seen obviously all of it. I think you do a better. Maybe it's because you do a better impersonation than Alec Baldwin, bro. Have you ever thought about that? Like maybe he was pissed off that you as an independent creator are better than him, who's had obviously hundreds of millions of Hollywood dollars poured into his career and his professional acting. Maybe that's really what did it. Maybe that.
Well, I don't even think he saw what he was doing as an impression. I think he saw it as an attack because that's exactly what it was. So when people say to me, they're like, oh, that wasn't comedy, that was an attack. I'm like, oh, you mean like what he did for 4 years straight, which was just attack the guy? That wasn't an impersonation. When you're impersonating somebody, you have to find something about them that you like to come to the surface. That's what an impersonation is. But what he did was an attack, and maybe I came and attacked back.
Is this like so was he like right up in your face? I know the camera angle is a little tough. Like was he like this close? I mean, this is crazy.
He was pretty close. The funny thing is, he goes, oh, what's that, a camera in your hand? And then he leaned in. What he didn't realize, what I had on my finger when I said kiss the ring was a microphone. So I think when he leaned in and kind of whispered, he thought he was avoiding being picked up by the camera, the one behind me, because he saw my camera guy behind me, and he also saw what was in my hand. But I think he thought when he was leaning in and whispering that it wouldn't get picked up, but it was actually a very powerful microphone in my hand. So that audio was so crisp and so clear.
Dude, I just these people are so dumb. So he's trying to make the point that, you know, his family lives in the building and that you should be respectful, and then he says he's going to murder you. Yeah. So that's a lot. I mean, again, and you're making a joke, obviously, about a very, very public trial of him shooting and killing a lady on his movie set.
Yeah.
And in order to retort what you're saying and to clap back at you, he says, I'll murder you right now in the street.
Yeah. Yeah. Very extreme. People are like, you should file charges, you should sue him. I just think the guy needs counseling. I honestly feel bad for him at the end of the day. I think he needs help.
He's got a lot of these videos, man. I mean, I don't think there's a single celebrity that's gone berserker, galaxy brain more than Alec Baldwin. And at least he snaps on like the Hamas protesters. Like he had a string of like Hamas protesters that he was like threatening and grabbing their cameras and throwing them.
Yeah.
So at least he's equal opportunity. That's very bipartisan, actually. You know?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
He's attacking the left. I don't know where you are politically, but at least you care enough about Trump to do a funny impersonation of him that's not driven out of spite and hate.
I'm definitely, I definitely support the president.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. This is what a hateful, spiteful Alec Baldwin looks like, who's doing a lesser impersonation than you. He's doing he's doing a worse job. You think SNL will hire you next?
Yeah, anything's possible.
Okay. I like your Trump impersonation better than the guy that they got. And also, they're being fed comedy gold. Okay, so as a professional comedian, I want to get your take on two things. One, this is comedy gold. This is an era of, like, it's almost hard to do parody in this era because the politicians are the comedians. And I think that's been something that's been accelerating with President Biden. I mean, like, so you have Joe Biden who's fallen on his ass, and like every time he opens his mouth, it's a comedy sketch, kind of sad, like dark gallows humor, but like it's kind of like a comedy sketch. Why didn't anyone make fun of Joe Biden? Like, that should have been the golden era of political parody.
There was definitely a vacuum, and I think in that era, that's where I sort of emerged, and I took up the space in that vacuum. I actually got thrown off of TikTok, my original TikTok, because I would have my friend push me around in a wheelchair, and I would be Biden in Macy's, and I would just be fumbling around. And each one of those videos. That was me.
I apologize. They're a couple years old. I apologize. That was you.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that was me.
Maybe we can find them. Maybe we can find them and toss them up.
It's hard to find because they wiped out my TikTok, and it was just innocent. You know, I wasn't saying anything really offensive. I was just making fun of Biden, and I got thrown off. Oh, this is Jamarcus.
Is this Robert De Niro's house?
Yes, that's Robert De Niro's house, and I hired a guy to play his illegitimate son, Jamarcus.
I mean, we probably have to listen to it, Jason. I mean, I want to be respectful of your time here, but we probably should listen to the sound on this tape.
Absolutely.
I'm back. It's your favorite president. I don't give up. You didn't come out last time, so I hired an investigator and found your illegitimate son, Jamarcus. Jamarcus, come over here, Jamarcus. Say some words to your father. Talk to your daddy. Father, why don't you love me? Accept me. It's okay, Jamarcus. Do you hear that, Bobby? So look, Bobby, I'm officially placing $200 million in tariffs on your building until you come out and speak to me and your son, Jamarcus. His mother, LaQuisha, who you abandoned very strongly, got shot. It's so sad, and I'm officially adopting Jamarcus myself. Believe me, Bobby.
So wait a second. Is this true? Do I not know this about Robert De Niro?
Yeah, I did. I did hire a private investigator. No, I'm kidding. This is all completely just to troll him.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You were able to see Robert De Niro face to face. We do have that B-roll here. Well, he didn't respond to you, as far as I know. He didn't come up to you, right?
He didn't, but I had him stuck there for a moment, and I laid into him.
How do you find these guys?
Well, this was at a premiere for his new show, so it was guaranteed that he was going to be there. And I also have a younger brother who's he's a big celebrity guy. He's a little nerdy, and he's an autograph hound, so he knows where they're all going to be. So I had him help me, and I also have a friend who works in TMZ or whatever. So I have a little network of people help me out.
That's great. So you're not and I did see the TMZ clip of you saying you were considering filing charges against Alec Baldwin. I did want to get to that. You're not going to do that.
No.
Okay. I saw the TMZ follow-up. Okay, so why couldn't they make fun of Joe Biden? I want to ask that question, and then I want to ask, about the current era, because I think we're actually entering an era of unbridled comedy, and I'm very encouraged by it.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah, and so talk to me about the before time, right? When suddenly, every comedian, they cut your tongues out. What the F was up with that over the last 4 years?
Yeah. So, well, basically, they couldn't make fun of Biden because it was like the emperor's new clothes. They all could see on some level that he was, degrading. He had dementia. He had difficulty putting sentences together. But if they admitted that, then the guy who they called Hitler for 4 years would inevitably make a comeback. So they all had to, they basically, it's like that they got led into the narrow ravine. They got led by their own doing, got led into this trap. And that's why they really couldn't touch Biden. They did a little bit at the end because at that point it was just so overwhelming. After the debate, it became unavoidable completely. And even when it was unavoidable, they still kind of hit him with the kid gloves. But like I say, that opened a door for me to do the wheelchair videos in Macy's, and I had one when he first fell up the stairs on Air Force One. I actually went into those red stairs in Times Square, and I had a wheelchair and I went all the way down the stairs. I gotta find that video too. I was bumping into people. It was great.
My producers, who are just the absolute digital sleuths. If it can be found, they'll find them. Danny and
Okay.
ALX. Danny and ALX and Jack are on it. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if we can get them. We can get these old Biden videos. Okay,
Yeah.
so now fast forward to that was the before time.
Yeah.
Where everyone was a coward, and where I would argue you're not a comedian. None of these guys on late night. Just to labor on this point for one, because of what you just said. To labor on this point for just a second. Like in the before time, these guys they're not comedians actually. Like you're clearly somebody who's just controlled opposition. You're handed the jokes that are safe.
Yeah.
You're not able, like, through that time, who was the only comedian? I mean, it's like Dave Chappelle, right? Is like somebody who sort of had a renaissance during that time because he's like, F you, right? Like, you're not going to tell me what to say or who I can make fun of. And then you have these guys like late night comedians like Kimmel and them, Stephen Colbert. They did like a whole write-up in Politico where they were like admitting to Politico, it was last summer, like, no, we took we don't attack Biden because of democracy, right? Like, it's like, bro, you're a fraud. You're not a comedian. Like, don't call yourself that. There's plenty of people who do PR for political parties.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like, you're clearly not a comic.
Yeah, I also think that's a major part of the reason why the Democrats lost, because humor is such a potent tool. And the way that I was using it, I always say I have my views, but it has to stay funny. Like, if I'm just preaching, that's not going to be funny. And, there are other guys, not to name names, there are other guys who are super pro-Trump, who imitate Trump, but I don't know how many people they've converted. Over the last 4 years, I have people on video. I should send you this video. Kids, young kids, like ethnic, I don't know, some sort of Spanish or whatever. Kids come up to me and they're like, dude, we hated Trump. We were Democrats, liberals. Your videos made us support Trump. And in those moments are so gratifying to me because it's like, yeah, I'm able to use my God-given gifts to make people happy and to make a living, but I'm also having whatever minuscule impact on the world, on the election, and that feels great. I had this Chinese guy come up to me. He goes, once again, in New York City, it's where I live, and he's like, your videos make me so happy. And he's like, I love Trump. He is for freedom, And it's like, it sounds funny, and it was kind of funny in the moment, but it like those moments feel amazing.
If you can't make fun of something, if you can't joke about something, then you actually increase the pressure. And you create a society that nobody wants to live in. You create a society with like protected sacred cows. And it's like deeply antithetical to like the purpose of the country itself. It really does.
100%.
It drives straight at this one of my favorite stories ever, which is the banning of political cartoons, which was like the political comedy of its era in the 1700s. And most of the founders had newspaper publishing companies, some type of like publishing company, right? Some of them very famously, like Ben Franklin. And King George, one of the first things he did to actually inspire the American Revolution was say, you can't make cartoons of me.
Yeah.
Don't draw videos of me with my like white ass, right, getting spanked, or me getting pillared, right? They would do political cartoons of King George. And they were really funny. They were like funny for their time. And that was like the SNL of its day. Some of the original founding documents of this country were actually ridiculing the powerful. Yeah. And it's a way for people who most of us just live like, most of us like live lives where we got to like get up, go to work, grind for the man. It's like a way for us to get back a little bit.
Yeah.
Comedy this is
gets
perfect,
you by.
Klein. Like pop that up. This is perfect. This is like the old original. These are the original colonial cartoons of King George. He banned them.
Yeah.
Before the taxes, right? Before like the tea tax and all the things that we learn about, the actual acceleration of the American Revolution was him banning comedy. The king banning comedy. And the founders being like, F that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the kind of country we want to build, where there are protected classes of people. And so that's how valuable political humor is, actually.
Yeah.
The art form that you practice is ancient in this country. It's part of the reason we have a country, in fact.
Yeah. And I find that when you limit comedy, it actually divides people more. and people just sort of go into their groups, especially like racial comedy. You know, I used to work in a moving company. You know what I'm saying? I was the white guy, the black guy. We had the Muslim. Everybody was cracking jokes on each other, and we all got along. But when you say, "Oh my gosh, no, I can't say that because it might offend this guy," then everybody retreats to their groups, and then that's when things get weird. And I think we saw a major result of that sort of thing over the last, how many ever years. But we're coming out of it.
It didn't get better. Yeah, it didn't get better. Everything got worse, and everything got more balkanized, and people got like more. The pressure increased instead of decreased. So
1000%.
anyway, this is like so now we have a reversal.
Yeah.
So the reversal is, it seems like the comedy golden era is coming back, and everyone from Andrew Schultz to other other big comedians are actually going big on attacking individual groups, not attacking, like making fun of these differences, going back to either racial comedy or comedy about people's sexual preferences, or like groups, untouchable groups, right? The sacred cows, and and politicians, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Again, that's it's a pressure release valve. It lets the pressure out in society, and more importantly, it tells people that
you could relax.
Yes, that's right. So that's obviously a good thing. I think that's great for society. I'm sure as a practitioner of this, you believe it.
Yeah, 100%. And you could see it calming down even on SNL a little bit. They're still pretty radical, but I could see a difference between this guy doing Trump and the 4 years of Baldwin. Do you notice that?
On SNL?
A little bit.
Yeah, the guy that's like a little more warmth to the character, right?
Yeah. A little closer, closer.
Yep.
But it's still pretty bad.
I think SNL should hire you, man. I think that'd be a good.
I agree. So
It'd be like, I think the ratings would go. Okay, so where are we headed? So where are we headed in the next couple of years? It seems like this prickly, you're not allowed to make fun of people. That's gone. I mean, I think that's gone, and more importantly, the money's gone. That backs that up.
Yeah.
Nobody made any money. You don't make money by canceling Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And giving in to the fanatical theater kids that work at Netflix. You just don't do that.
Yeah. I think we're returning to the America that I was born in 1991. I'm 33 years old. And I think we're slowly going back to the America of the 90s and the early 2000s when comedies. I remember 4 years ago, the guy who directed, I think it was The Hangover. He said, he just admitted blatantly. He's like, you can't write comedy anymore. And that's horrible. You know what I mean? Comedy is the medicine. Comedy is when you're at your lowest point. You know what I mean? When somebody passes away or something, that first giggle, that's the first time you emerge from the that dark place is comedy. So I think what I predict happening in the next 4 years, 8 years, 12 years is a return to just normalcy. It's who said, he's like, forget Make America Great Again, just make America again. I think it was James Woods said that. Just make America again. The people of my era, I grew up in Long Island, New York, Levittown, blue collar town, mainly Italian American, Italian Irish, and everybody of my generation, you'll hear us reminiscing and missing those times of movies like Anchorman and The Hangover I just mentioned, and things like that. And I think that era, that time is coming back. And I think that because the majority demands it at this point. It's not the minority anymore. It's the majority.
We have found, Jason, your video.
Okay, Biden.
We have found one.
Okay.
We found one. I think we found one or two. Oh no, we found the Okay, I was okay, amazing. Just a second. We found the wheelchair one. All right. So here's you as Biden. Okay. So this is like Biden visits the M&M store. All right. And I think we found your wheelchair. I think we found your wheelchair video.
Okay.
I'm Joe President. The M&M store. I'm looking for some kids. Hey, come here, kid. Hey, come here. Oh, that's good. Smells like a peanut. Come on, man. Look. I'm looking for no serious dates until you're 35. Come on, man. That's so. Hey, look at this.
It's hard to parody almost because it is so creepy and it's like almost unnerving.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, all right. Well,
that's my friend, by the way. His name is Pepito. He's not an actual child. He's actually he's almost 40 years old.
So let's jump one. Let's. All right. So they're working on getting it. We'll see if we can get it.
Sure.
I just wanted to say we're fans of your work. We appreciate it, and we appreciate it on like a not only a sort of cultural historic level of the country we want to build together, but also on like this is the kind of country we want to live in. You don't want to live in like a zero trust society. You want to live in a high trust society, and the way you actually trust people. And where I come from is to break their balls. Like if you're being really, really nice to somebody, like that's a problem. I know Long Island, there's a problem. Your closest group of friends. This is why it's bad when the text chain, the guy text chain leaks. Because your closest group of friends are the people that you're the most offensive with, the people 100%. That you make the most fun of. And that's like where I come from. That's the way that you like tell somebody you love them, actually. Yeah. And you care about them.
Same for where I come. And it's what makes you human.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Okay, so is this it? Do we actually have it? Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Put this. Here we go. Just to show you, we actually
Fell
found
down
it.
there, but that's so I'm okay. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
I got hairy legs. Whoa, falling on the family. White kids are just as black as poor kids. Come on, man. I got hairy legs. They turn blonde in the summer. Come on, man. Bringing back dignity. That's so okay. You don't vote for me. You ain't black. Come on, man.
All right, so we wanted to close here, Jason, by giving you just one opportunity to. I certainly hope that we don't or do regret it. I'm not exactly sure, but here's Jimmy Kimmel doing blackface. Back, I guess, in the before time with Karl Malone. I want to give you a chance to roast Jimmy Kimmel as Trump doing this sketch. You have audio on this? He just does a Karl Malone. He just does like a Karl Malone voice. So, can you go in on him as Trump?
Well, if you look at it, you look at Kimmel, right? Jimmy, this guy used to love me. He used to walk out to the curb welcoming me. This guy is a total racist. You look at what he did to Karl Malone, he's a hero. If you look at it, that guy is an icon, and I know icons, okay? I'm sort of as iconic as they come. That's what people are saying. But the hatred in Jimmy's eyes, you could tell if this was back in the days of slavery, Jimmy would have had slaves. I would never have slaves, okay? Because I thought that was wrong. It was so wrong. But Jimmy, he's a guy, he would probably have hundreds of slaves. And then he would go out to them in the shack. They had him in the shack. And he would paint himself. And he would mock them. And that's very nasty. And personally, I think Jimmy should be fired if you want to know the truth. Okay? Okay, Benny?
Okay, Trump, Mr. President. It's perfect. We've interviewed Trump. It's so good. It's such a ringer. And there's clearly love behind it. You should show Jason Scoop some love. Head on over, ladies and gentlemen, to his account on X and give him a follow. Give him a sub right now. It's also on YouTube. I think he has links here in his bio. You can find Jason's content across platforms. X is the one that we focus on because most people drop all of their content there.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes viral every single week, and he's one of the few people actually practicing true comedy. Now, here's his YouTube is Jason Scoop Comedy right there. Great.
And I'm on Cameo. That's a big thing for me. If anybody wants a personal message from the president for their birthday, graduation, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, everything, I'm on cameo.com/Jason Scoop Comedy, and you can see the examples there.
There we go. It's great. I'm flying down to Tampa for my kid's birthday party. They're a big fan of Trump. So.
I would love that.
Maybe it's okay. Oh, Jason.
I
Okay.
do those
We're
too.
go-
Yeah.
We're not gonna stop until Jason's on SNL. Jason must be the Trump on SNL. That's gonna be this is going to be the crusade that we're on. Jason, it's an honor to talk to you, man. What you do is important. I think you represented it so perfectly, like how valuable these impersonations are, how valuable comedy is in this moment. And we thank you for bringing a little extra light to our days.
My pleasure. And thank you
Later.
for having me on. Been
Later,
a fan for quite a long time.
My man. See you, Jason.
See you, Benny.
Oh, man. What an exciting time, ladies and gentlemen, to be making content and to be sort of throwing down in this space. And at this moment, there's so much good energy out there. We love bringing forward people that just have that good energy and that can deliver a little extra light to the internet, right? Instead of darkness every single day. It's been a couple of years of darkness and we didn't have any levity. We didn't have any capacity to build anything because, well, we were either through deplatforming or censoring or self-censoring, which is even worse. We had comedy completely taken from us. And ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to build. We are trying to build. I am trying to build. I built myself a little home gym. I'm trying my very hardest to embrace the Maha moment here, be a strong father. I have 2 sons, and I want to extend the event horizon for my sons to be able to beat me up, right? You want to be stronger than your boys. I try my hardest to be in shape. Sometimes it's tough. We do work a lot in the studio, all hours of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, Brick House Nutrition keeps me locked in. I want to kind of look like a brick house. Brick House Nutrition has an awesome product. This product, when we are in the studio day and night, helps me feel great. It's called Field of Greens. It assists me in being able to get the type of fruits and vegetables that I must have for my metabolism to keep rocking and rolling. Man, dude, how much sleep did we get the other night? Maybe 30 minutes of sleep. We ended the stream at like midnight. We got to the hotel at 1 o'clock. We had like a 4 a.m. train. So maybe 30 minutes of sleep. Boy, you better be energized for that. Field of Greens helps me get there. Field of Greens is just whole fruits and vegetables. That's it. Just whole fruits and vegetables. We could all use more of that in our diets. And since using Field of Greens, we've had this overall feeling of being healthier and more energy. Ladies and gentlemen, you should go today to fieldofgreens.com. Use my code Benny to get 20% discount. Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use the code Benny. This will help you feel strong and enter the Maha era, ladies and gentlemen, with just more energy. All right? Just more energy and more strength. We need more of that. Somebody who was an athlete, I guess still is an athlete, somebody who played football, somebody who's ready to block and tackle and throw down is our dear friend Byron Donalds, who's running for governor of Florida. We've endorsed him. Byron Donalds was throwing down yesterday with Sanctuary City mayors in the Capitol building. Frickin' absolute brick house here. This was the most viral clip of the day yesterday. Go.
Mayor Johnston, coming back to you. How much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
$79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone...
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing mayor.
Which is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did
sent
the city
from
of
us
New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers'
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration.
We
Are you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
we
your
have
budget
the
or not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston
the city of
is
Boston.
sick of having
I'm
people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I
need.
have a question for you.
Theater kids, man. The theater kids are running everything. Enough. Enough. We see enough on this program. You got to be founded and grounded in the real world, whether that's comedy or whether that's just going about your day-to-day business of getting it done, man. We're happy to get it done with you. We're thankful for you. We can't do these trips or go to these places or do these live streams from inside the Capitol, go to New York. We can't do this stuff without your support. So we know that this is strange economic times. Just watching the show supports us. We thank you. Subscribing to the show supports us. If you want to do more, you can join the Betting Brigade. If you join the Betting Brigade, then you get a chance to ask questions of the show when we have more of a lead up to the interviews that we're going to do. We'll be opening up questions for you to ask some of the major principals that we'll be getting a chance to interview, and we'll be live on the stream. There's going to be major functionalities that we open up here for the brigade, and, well, it costs less than $5 a month. So that's, I don't know, there used to be a $5 foot long. Inflation destroyed that. It's the cost of a Chick-fil-A fry. So if you wish to bless our program, then that's one way that you can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bless you back with the verse of the day, Galatians 5:25. Since we are living in the Spirit, let us follow the Spirit's leading in every part of our lives. Does it feel like the Spirit's leading you? You ever had one of those moments where it's like things are just like locking in, and it's just like things just hit, and it's not perfect, but like you're getting things done, and you're seeing growth, and you're seeing acceleration, you're seeing what Christ would call like the first fruits, right? Like the fruits of what you're doing is actually being raised up. It's a really exciting time. And so this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we want to build with you. We've been seeing the productivity of the show and the energy of it all, and it's just inspiring. So we just want to say thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. Shout out to the chats. It's your boy Benny. What's up? Oh, Killer Klein. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Benny. March on with us. Can't defeat an army of happy warriors. See you tomorrow.
Truth gon' be faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies. Watch the truth cascade with the warrior's heart. This man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies. Watch the truth cascade with the warrior's heart. This man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.